As they sat down to eat, Ifeoma sensed something was wrong. "Joshua, you look troubled. What's on your mind?" Ifeoma asked, her eyes filled with concern. Joshua took a deep breath, steeling himself for what he had to say. "Ifeoma, we need to talk. I'm sorry, but I think we should end our relationship." Ifeoma's face paled, and her fork clattered to the plate. "What? Why, Joshua?" Joshua was a hard-working young man who owned a shop where he sold watches and eyeglasses. He lived with his younger sister, Ada, while his elder sister, Ngozi, was married and lived with her husband in a nearby town. Joshua was well respected in the community for his dedication and integrity. One sunny afternoon, as Joshua was arranging his display, a very beautiful girl walked into his shop. Her presence was so captivating that Joshua was momentarily speechless. "Good afternoon," she said with a bright smile. "I need to buy a watch for my brother's birthday." Joshua composed himself and returned her smile. "Good afternoon. You've come to the right place. We have a wide selection of watches. What kind of watch does your brother like?" As they talked about the different options, Joshua found himself drawn to her. Her name was Amara, and her laughter was like music to his ears. He flirted subtly, and she responded with a playful twinkle in her eyes. They exchanged numbers before she left, both looking forward to seeing each other again. Joshua's girlfriend, Ifeoma, who had been introduced to him by Ngozi, visited him later that evening. She had a bright future and was loved by Joshua's family. They all anticipated their marriage, but Joshua's mind was elsewhere, filled with thoughts of Amara. Days turned into weeks, and Joshua became increasingly absent. He was always chatting with Amara and sneaking off to answer her calls. Ifeoma noticed the change and felt neglected. One evening, she confronted him. "Joshua, what's going on? You seem so distant. You're not paying attention to me anymore," Ifeoma said, her voice laced with concern. Joshua sighed, avoiding her gaze. "I'm just tired, Ifeoma. I need some time to myself." Ifeoma's eyes filled with tears. "We've always shared everything, Joshua. Why are you shutting me out now? Is there someone else?" Joshua looked away, unable to meet her eyes. "It's not like that. I just need space." Ifeoma felt a pang of fear and sadness. "We've been together for so long. I thought we were going to get married. Please, tell me what's really going on." Joshua rubbed his temples, feeling the weight of his lies. "Ifeoma, please understand. I'm just under a lot of stress right now." Feeling hurt and confused, Ifeoma turned to her friend, Ngozi, for advice. Ngozi, protective of her brother, decided to have a word with him. "Joshua, what's the matter with you? Why are you treating Ifeoma this way?" Ngozi demanded when she visited him at his shop. Joshua looked up from his work, his expression weary. "Ngozi, this is between Ifeoma and me. Please, stay out of it. Stay out of it." Ngozi's voice rose in disbelief. "Ifeoma is practically family. You can't just ignore her like this. She's worried sick about you." Joshua stood up, frustration boiling over. "Ngozi, I appreciate your concern, but this is my life. I need to handle it my way." Ngozi crossed her arms, her eyes narrowing. "Handle it your way? By pushing away the woman who loves you? You need to wake up, Joshua. You're making a big mistake." Joshua took a deep breath, trying to calm himself. "Ngozi, I know you mean well, but I need you to trust me on this. I'll figure things out. Ngozi shook her head, feeling helpless. Fine, but don't come crying to me when you realize what you've lost. As Ngozi left the shop, Joshua sat down, his thoughts in turmoil. He knew he was hurting Ifeoma, but his feelings for Amara were too strong to ignore. Despite the tension with Ifeoma and Ngozi's warnings, Joshua couldn't resist Amara's charm. They met up again and had another amazing conversation, deepening his feelings for her. One evening, they decided to meet at a quiet cafe. Joshua arrived early, his heart racing with anticipation. When Amara walked in, he couldn't help but smile. "Hi, Amara," Joshua greeted her, standing up to pull out her chair. "Hi, Joshua," she replied, her smile lighting up the room. "It's good to see you." As they sat down and ordered their drinks, Joshua felt a sense of calm wash over him. They talked about their interests, dreams, and the little things that made them who they were. "Joshua, what made you open a shop selling watches and eyeglasses?" Amara asked, genuinely curious. Joshua leaned back, a thoughtful expression on his face. "I've always loved watches. There's something fascinating about their precision and craftsmanship. As for eyeglasses, I wanted to provide something essential and stylish. It's been a passion of mine for years." Amara smiled. "That's amazing. It's rare to find someone so passionate about their work." Joshua felt a warm glow at her compliment. "What about you, Amara? What are your dreams?" Amara's smile faltered slightly. "I want to pursue my passion for fashion design, but my family has different plans for me." Joshua reached across the table and took her hand. "You should follow your dreams, Amara. Life is too short to live for someone else's expectations." Tears welled up in Amara's eyes. "It's not that simple, Joshua. My father is a powerful man, and he's already planned my future." Joshua squeezed her hand gently. "What do you mean?" Amara took a deep breath, her voice trembling. "My father is a wealthy politician. He wants me to marry his business associate's son, and he's already begun the wedding preparations. But I don't love him. I love you, Joshua." Joshua's heart skipped a beat. He looked into Amara's eyes and saw the sincerity of her words. "I love you too, Amara. We'll find a way to be together." Their conversation continued late into the night, both of them finding solace in each other's company. Joshua knew he had to make a choice, and his heart was set on Amara. Back home, Joshua decided to break up with Ifeoma. He invited her over for dinner, hoping to explain everything. As they sat down to eat, Ifeoma sensed something was wrong. "Joshua, you look troubled. What's on your mind?" Ifeoma asked, her eyes filled with concern. Joshua took a deep breath, steeling himself for what he had to say. "Ifeoma, we need to talk. I'm sorry, but I think we should end our relationship." Ifeoma's face paled, and her fork clattered to the plate. "What? Why, Joshua? What did I do wrong?" Joshua reached out to take her hand, but she pulled away. "It's not you, Ifeoma. You've been amazing. It's me. I need to move on." Tears streamed down Ifeoma's face. "Move on? We've been together for so long. I thought we were going to get married. Please, tell me what's really going on." Joshua's heart ached at the sight of her pain. "Ifeoma, I care about you, but my feelings have changed. I can't lie to you or myself anymore. I'm so sorry." Realizing he was serious, Ifeoma reluctantly accepted the breakup. She stood up, wiping her tears. I hope you find what you're looking for, Joshua. Goodbye. As Ifeoma left, Joshua felt a mix of relief and guilt. He knew he had hurt her deeply, but his heart belonged to Amara. With Ifeoma out of the picture, Joshua could finally focus on his future with the woman he truly loved. Determined to marry Amara, Joshua went to meet her parents. He was met with disdain and rejection. Her father, Chief Ease, made it clear that Joshua was not welcome. You're just a common trader. My daughter will not marry someone like you, Chief Ease sneered. Amara's mother, Lady Ease, echoed her husband's sentiments. We have plans for Amara, and they don't include you. In a desperate move to keep them apart, Chief Ease moved the wedding date forward. Amara was heartbroken, but she and Joshua decided to elope. They married in a small church, with only the pastor as a witness. When Chief Ease found out, he was furious. You are no longer my daughter, Amara. Leave and never return. Amara moved in with Joshua, who was now her husband. The man she was supposed to marry, Obinna, was enraged by the turn of events. Months after their secret wedding, Amara gave birth to a healthy baby boy. Their joy was immeasurable, and for a brief period, life felt perfect. Joshua and Amara cherished their son, naming him Chinedu, which means God leads in Igbo. They were determined to provide him with a loving and stable home despite the ongoing estrangement from Amara's parents. Joshua continued to work hard at his shop, and Amara supported him, balancing her responsibilities as a new mother and helping out when she could. They were a team, and their love for each other and their son gave them the strength to face any challenge. One evening, after closing the shop, Joshua felt unusually tired and weak. At first, he dismissed it as the result of long hours of work and sleepless nights caring for Chinedu. However, as the days passed, his condition worsened. Amara grew increasingly concerned and insisted he see a doctor. Joshua, you need to see a doctor. This isn't normal, Amara said, worry etched on her face. Joshua nodded, finally agreeing. You're right, Amara. I'll make an appointment tomorrow. The following day, Joshua visited the hospital. After a series of tests, the doctor called them into his office. The atmosphere was tense, and Amara held Joshua's hand tightly. Mr. Joshua, I'm afraid I have some difficult news, the doctor began, his expression serious. You have stage 1 cancer. It's in your blood and bone marrow. Amara gasped, her hand flying to her mouth. Joshua felt as if the ground had been pulled out from under him. He squeezed Amara's hand, trying to process the devastating news. How bad is it? Joshua asked, his voice trembling. The doctor sighed. The good news is that we caught it early. With aggressive treatment, there's a good chance of recovery. However, it will be a long and challenging journey. Tears streamed down Amara's face as she looked at Joshua. We'll get through this together, Joshua. I promise. Joshua nodded, drawing strength from her words. We'll fight this. For Chinedu and for us. The treatment began, and it quickly drained their savings. Despite their best efforts, the financial burden became overwhelming. Desperate, Amara decided to swallow her pride and seek help from her estranged father. Amara stood at the gates of her family home, her heart pounding. She hadn't been here since the day she eloped with Joshua. Taking a deep breath, she walked up to the door and knocked. A servant answered and, upon recognizing her, let her in reluctantly. Amara's father, Chief Ease, was sitting in the living room when she entered. His expression hardened at the sight of her. What do you want, Amara?" he asked coldly. Amara swallowed hard, fighting back tears. "Papa, Joshua is very sick. He has cancer, and we can't afford the treatment. Please, I beg you, help us." Chief Eze's face remained impassive. "You made your choice, Amara. You chose him over your family. Now you must live with the consequences." Amara fell to her knees, her voice breaking. "Please, Papa. I'm begging you. Joshua is a good man, and he needs help. I don't want Chinedu to grow up without his father." Chief Eze's expression softened for a brief moment before hardening again. "No. You are no longer my daughter. Leave my house." Amara left, her heart shattered. Desperation drove her to Obinna, the man she had been meant to marry. She found him at his office and explained her situation, hoping for some compassion. Obinna listened, a cruel smile playing on his lips. "You need money, Amara? I can give you 25 million naira, but it comes with a price." Amara felt a chill run down her spine. "What do you mean?" Obinna leaned back in his chair, his eyes gleaming with malice. "Sleep with me, and the money is yours." Amara's heart sank. She felt trapped and hopeless. With a heavy heart, she left Obinna's office, tears streaming down her face. The thought of losing Joshua was unbearable, and she knew she had no other options. Back at the hospital, the doctor informed her that Joshua's condition was worsening and that immediate treatment was crucial. Amara made a decision that tore at her soul. She returned to Obinna and agreed to his terms, securing the money for Joshua's treatment. The treatment began, and within a year, Joshua was recovering well. He was grateful for Amara's unwavering support and love, unaware of the true cost of his recovery. One day, while discussing their financial troubles, Joshua casually asked, "Where did you get the money for my treatment?" Amara lied, her heart heavy with guilt. "I took it from my father." Joshua, proud and happy, didn't press further. But fate had other plans. One day, he saw Chief Eze across the street. Eager to thank him, Joshua approached. "Thank you, sir, for the money. It saved my life," Joshua said. Chief Eze looked at him with disdain. "Why would I ever spend a dime on you?" Realization and anger dawned on Joshua. He confronted Amara, who fell to her knees, confessing everything. "I did it for you, Joshua. I couldn't let you die," Amara cried. Furious and hurt, Joshua walked out. "Leave this house before I return." Amara, with nowhere to go, turned to Nosy, who offered her shelter. 9 months passed without a word from Joshua. One day, she saw him with another woman and was heartbroken. Joshua's new relationship was shallow, based on money. One day, he came home to find his money stolen by the woman. Broke and miserable, he realized his mistake. He went to beg Amara for forgiveness. Amara, now selling food items in the market and doing well for herself and their son, listened to his plea. But her heart had hardened. "I did everything for you, Joshua. I knew it was wrong, but I had no other choice. You threw me away when I needed you the most." "I can forgive you," Amara said, tears in her eyes. Joshua fell to his knees, sobbing. "Please, Amara. I was wrong. I need you and our son." Amara shook her head, her heart heavy. "I can't, Joshua. You need to leave." As Joshua walked away, he realized the true cost of his actions. He had lost the woman who loved him unconditionally. Amara, despite her heartbreak, remained strong for her son, proving that love sometimes comes with a price too high to pay.